Hi everyone, Esther here. Thank you so much for tuning to my channel. As you know, I took a couple weeks break and slowly I'm going to start to produce new videos. I feel like myself and the whole world, hopefully the people who really understand what's happening in Israel, I feel like we went through heart-opening operation, and it's definitely not easy period, but very uh, revealing on so many levels. And it's showing us again and again how important place of Israel, how important this place. Why, how come this such a small country and this, less than 2% population of the whole entire world. I think it's like 8 million of Jewish people, which is non-Jewish people. It's much more, but it's not revealed. And everything right now waking and everyone really showing what they saw to see, the world they keep inside, the illusion each of us connect to, a different level of illusion. But at the end, we came here to reveal a lot of light, to represent light of the Creator. And I'm sure you agree, we didn't came here to definitely to kill each other or to, in the name of God, or name of Allah, to massacre people in order to receive some kind of nirvana, so to say. There's nothing else I can say. Now, what I want us to do today, as you can see in front of you, it's the natal chart of Erdogan. I have a couple surprises for you because I suddenly decide really to do his chart today because I was thinking to make his chart, but a couple things happened this year with him, and I was a little bit battling inside what's going on with this man, because what he did beginning of this year, he actually approved for all the Hamas leaders to receive citizenship in Turkey. It was beginning of 2023. And then in September, he met with Bibi Netanyahu. And then a week after, he met again with Palestine and with Hamas. They just definitely discussed something. And then a few days ago, one of my friends sent me article about Erdogan new, so to say, new way to see how the world should really play. And he called, I think it was on Saturday, he attended a major rally for Gaza in Istanbul, right? And he called Hamas as fighters of liberation and resistance, right? And then he started showing them up what is the Israel and what is the part of the Palestine. Now, I definitely will make video on the Israel and Palestine just for you to show from the Bible perspective, Torah perspective, and as well from through the history. Now, as you probably know, if it's not first time you listening to my video, I'm not just astrologer. I have a knowledge, little bit of knowledge of Zohar, knowledge of Torah, the Old Testimony, and I always apply all these tools, Kabbalistic tools. We cannot just look at the things the way they are in a limited reality. We need to go to the seat of the things, why it was initially created by the Creator, what is the thought of creation, what is the seed of what was created, and what is the outcome, why we need to go through such a transformation in order to find ourselves, but better selves, like really ourselves, who we really are, and with the huge energy of the Creator inside of us. So I'm going to tell a story about the Ishmael. Probably some of you know, and if you do, maybe I will give you some little bit more extra information, right? Abraham, he had two sons. He has Yitzhak, Isaac, in English, and he has Ishmael. Now, the Ishmael, he born from maidservant Hagar, but she was a princess of the small nation, and he was the firstborn. and then considered to be the father of all the Arab nations. So the Isaac was chosen to carry Abraham's legacy, and from his father home, Ishmael had, he had many ups and downs, and he left with his mother, Hagar, when Sarah, the wife of Abraham, came and asked him to make them out of the house. Now, what's really happened? Why it's happened, right? So, what Midrash Yerushalayim, and as well the other tzaddikim, they explain, Midrash, it's another interpretation of the Torah, and in more simple storytelling way, more understandable, because we need to remember Torah, Old Testimony, you cannot understand literally. It says if a person interpreted Torah literally, he shouldn't even born, because it can be very danger game. There's no eye for eye. It's Kabbalistic explain. It's eye for eye. It's the cause and effect. It's like a boomerang effect. You understand? So to go with the war, it's not the war. It's always we're talking about the war within us, inside of us, not physical war. So this is why we always need to ask our tzaddikim, righteous, and the Zohar to guide us and to show us really what is the message. Just 1 second, I will drink water. So, as you remember, Sarah couldn't have bear children, and the time came when Abraham was already 85, and Sarah came with the idea, while she had this nice maid servant Hagar, Sarah came to Abraham and offered him to consider to take as a wife, and to B'ezrat Hashem, she can maybe help him to bear children. So, as you know, every time when Creator was have a conversation with Abraham, he always told him, listen to your wife, Sarah. So definitely, and Abraham and Sarah had such a unity and such a connection. It's a pure soulmate. They both came to the world as the first couple to bring the really pure light of Creator, the Chesed, right? So when Hagar gave birth to Ishmael, she completely changed. She started to get a lot of ego, start to speak to Sarah down, and start to talk about Sarah behind her back with the maid servants and other people, by telling him, you see, there's nothing special about this Sarah. I'm very special. Look at me, right away from the first time I got pregnant. So she was really start to behave a certain way, which was really painful for Sarah. And Sarah was she was really righteous soul, and really one of the kindness and most beautiful people. Remember, the Pharaoh wanted to marry Sarah. When he first saw her, he saw so much light of Creator, and he couldn't handle without keeping her. There was beautiful story about Abraham, Sarah, and Pharaoh. Now, what's happened while Ishmael was growing, when he was 12, almost 13, Sarah got pregnant with Isaac. And I'm just shortening the story for you. So when she got pregnant with Isaac, Isaac represent he represent judgment from three of life reality, right? And Ishmael represent judgment from the Etzadat, the knowledge and the other side reality, which is he gonna bring 12 tribes of Ishmael, right? We have 12 tribes of Israel and 12 tribes of Ishmael. Now, what's happened when Isaac was growing, Sarah started to notice then Ishmael will start to behave more and more violent. He started to kill animals in the house, start to be very wild with the servants and with the people. And it was absolutely not acceptable, because in the house of Abraham, everyone wasn't just servants, they were students too. So they have a lot of respect for each other. It was completely different energy. And then one day, Sarah saw then Ishmael using Isaac as a target shell. He used to put something on his head or ask him to hold stuff and shooting toward him. and laughing. And when Sarah saw that, she confronted him. She said, "It's very danger. You need to talk, father. Your father needs to speak with you. This is not okay behavior." And he started to lie to Sarah, start to smile. "Oh, no, no, no. He actually asked me and everything." And Sarah realized that moment, and he needs to get out of the house because he started to bring a lot of negativity in um, with his behavior, and she didn't want to be influenced his energy on anyone, especially to Isaac, Yitzhak. So Sarah went to Abraham and asked him to really. She told him what she saw and other things, and Abraham said, "Okay, let me talk to Creator." So when after Abraham spoke with Creator, and Creator only one thing answered to him: listen to your wife Sarah. This is exactly words. Abraham, at that night, before he spoke with Sarah and made his final decision, he had a vision, and he saw what Ishmael gonna bring in the future. Then new nations coming from from Ishmael, gonna bring a lot of pain and suffering and bloodshed, and they're gonna kill a lot of people from Israel. And he decide that he's going to pray for him, but he need to let him go because he cannot stay in the house. And there's a whole explanation about when he sent Ishmael and Hagar, his mother. He only gave them water and bread, nothing else. And you will ask, Abraham at the time was the richest man in the world, really one of the richest people in the world. His money was like multiply, like nothing, whatever he touched, it's like become the biggest. No one even, could touch his money. So, so he definitely could send him with more things, but there's a lot of secrets behind why Abraham didn't want to give any energy on the physical level anymore to Ishmael. Now, of course, we need to understand, we right now in the really between doors. Before the final redemption comes, we have a lot of cleanup and transformation to do, because each of us who's waiting or hoping for Mashiach, Messiah to come, which is what is really in a nutshell. It's our collective consciousness. A certain amount of our souls need to be so elevated that we can hold the new reality and real reality of the energy it's coming toward us, right? Because right now, 2024, what's coming, even now by end of 2023, so many things will continue. It's almost like a boomerang and like a fireball, event. It's going to be more and more things happening. And people who lives without God, the conversation you have with the Creator, you really live according to the rules of creation. Those people are going to have such a hard time if you don't have Creator with you, as your partner, as you every moment, every second. And I have to tell you guys, it's I can't even sugarcoat anymore. It's just one of the reasons I don't do prediction, because halachically, according to halacha, I'm only prophets and the Tanaim and the people who, in very, very high level, they have permission to give um, prediction, and they know how to give prediction, not to take away from us the opportunity still to transform and do the part without waiting. Anyway, it's going to happen. No, it's not how it works. The reason I don't do really predictions on countries and on certain events, because then I'm going to cancel the power of prayer we all integrate in order to change this reality. You understand? Yes, we're not coming back where we came from, obviously. Where we're going to, it's going to be completely new transformation. What money represent for us, what health represent for us, who we are, what the attachments we have, how do we see ourselves, how do we see other people, what agendas we have. This is going to be completely, we better to be more and more prepared and to embrace this process. You understand? So this is why very important. Now, why I told you the story about Ishmael. We need to understand this seed, because really Ishmael, to be fair, really Ishmael, he is a very, very high soul. But as a higher soul, when there's a dark, it's a lot of darkness. When such a soul will transform eventually, it's going to be a lot of light, because we need to understand there's three major spirituality will contain in final redemption. It's the Judaism, because Judaism is not religious, it's spirituality, and Judaism represents center column energy, Tiferet, and Christianity, right column energy, Chesed, and the left column energy, it's going to be represent, which is Gvura, it's sons of Ishmael, right? The Islam, the Arabic nation, which is, there's a lot of good people there, very high souls. And by the way, another fun we're all going to have when final redemption is going to come closer and closer, so many people going to suddenly wake up and said, oh my God, I found out somebody from my family was Jewish, or I feel I really connect to Torah, or I feel each of us will need to choose right, left, or center column energy if we, in order for us to be accepted in this reality, in the sense of not from place of religiosity. Remember, when final redemption comes, there will be no religious. We're talking about energy. The way how people going to communicate, they're going to communicate through the energetical force with each other. You don't need to bring a resume with you to be accepted to work. There's not going to be such a thing. You're going to care so much for other person in front of you, then you won't have time to think about yourself. You understand? It's going to be communication on a level. We're going to be so minimize our words. It's going to be all about energy, all about the communication through telepathically, but in the same time, energy. You're going to love other person's child so much, then you will feel everything what's happening around you. You understand where we're going, guys. We're going to such a beautiful place. We need to at least understand and prepare ourselves how we can get to this beautiful reality, beautiful world, but unfortunately only through the darkness. I will give you just comparison before I'm going to start with the chart of Erdogan. Think about the seed. When you put seed on the table, you can pray on the seed, you can sing to the seed, you can cover. There's nothing going to happen with the seed. But as soon as you're going to put seed inside of the soil, all the minerals, all the ingredients, which is exactly waiting, is the merge of this reality, what it's going to do, it's going to first reform the seed, right? It's almost like, you will see, it's almost like writing the seed. It's like his need to be broken, his need to be completely reshaped. But then what's happened? The sprout coming. This is who we are. This is what Creator is doing with us right now. You understand? So if you don't want to already become sprout, to be flexible like a water, Creator will do it anyway. Like you cannot live in this new reality coming to us, real reality, without going real transformation and to be super truthful to yourself. Okay, so let's look at his chart. So I'm going to show you something. One thing I found, then because I look at when I was looking to his birthplace, every astrologer put his birthplace in Istanbul, and he's not born in Istanbul at all. He born actually in Gunesu, which is the region of the rice, and it's 15 hours drive from Istanbul. So it's a huge for astrology. Therefore, everyone was saying then he has moon and in Scorpio, it's correct, but in 12th house, no, it's in 11th house. You understand? So this is why he has such a luck with the money, by the way. And his rising is in Capricorn, okay, which is, absolutely exactly, he's gonna step on the bodies to get what he needs, in his case in 8th degree. But look what's happened here. This is like a called over emotional and over dramatic little bit craziness of this moon in with Mars, even though moon is an exaltation to be in Mars in a sense, right? Even though she's very overreactive, she's constantly have a plan A, B, C, D, E, always, very concealed. And then we have a Mars, right? Mars and Scorpio. And look, it's both of them 15 degree. Now, what else interesting we have here? First of all, we have Venus and Mercury. Now, Mercury, it's weak in his chart. And he's close to the sun, but he's in retrogression as well, and he's invisible. Venus, she's stronger here in the chart, okay? And what's really interesting, his Mercury is sitting almost in the river of life, very spiritual. But because it's invisible, because it's in the in in the position of transition, this Mercury doesn't have clarity about spirituality. Do not. Why? Because it's been concealed, really. He's like, really, he can be influenced by other forces. Now, Venus, while she's strong, but what is the Venus? Venus represent Friday, and Venus represent people of Ishmael, right? The Judaism is Shabbat, Saturday Saturn, the Ishmael people, Friday, and that. So, and she's very, she knows how to show off, especially in the public. Look at this. She's an Aquarius, right? It's I will come back to it after. And then what we have here with the lunar nodes, right? His Rahu, I'm telling you guys, it's something else. 28-degree Rahu in 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 Sagittarius, and it's very it's for what he does right now. This Rahu needs to know how to use words of spirituality, spiritual word, in order to manipulate people, and he definitely using this in his in his position. Now, when I look at his chart and his progress chart, I was really surprised he won this year in election. But this is not for the long, I have to tell you, because he has a very difficult time for because he's entering to the period of Aquarius, and he's right now, and his son going to get weakened for the next few years. It's actually in his chart. I'm not sure if he, maybe even something happened by 26. I'm not sure if he can be actually alive. Okay. Now, he's definitely chameleon. And he's a chameleon, which is he put in danger his country, because when I look at the chart of Turkey, especially with the Jupiter they have, the Turkey possibly entering to some kind of conflict in war in 2024. You see, I don't want to get this prediction. I'm telling you in potential, but we can change everything. We can transform. There's nothing higher than the prayer we have. Nothing. I'm going to put short video of my amazing teacher, Rav Burke, like really 1.5 minute video. Just really listen to this video. And he has really explained to us how can we change this reality we're at right now. Okay, so we have a lot of power. So we need, while I'm telling you all of this stuff, we need to keep this in mind. But the guy really abused his power, and what's going to happen? It was really good for him to leave this year, but because he's going to stay in the position, and because of his Mars and his Moon, he's hiding some financial stuff. Actually, even from his country, from a lot of people. And the way he's moved to support Hamas, while he's part of the NATO, you will think this is something very fishy. And I will tell you what my intuition telling me. He got some kind of financial exchange with those organizations, and they have stuff on him. So now he has no choice, and it's not like he regret, but he really right now sitting with his sorry for my language, with his us on the two chairs, and he's going to fall between, and it's going to happen most likely already by end of the 2024. And I really hope people of Turkey will wake up, because there's a lot of progressive, amazing people, and what I understood, actually 70% of Turkey didn't want him, but somehow this sweet plate to be in the country, head of the country, it's hard to give away. So definitely something happened there. He got some support around, but Erdogan, it's not really good future for Turkey. He's gonna bring even more financial debt for Turkey. This is what's exactly happened with him since he was elected. Even 3 years ago, Turkey was in a better position. But by the way, Turkey started to get economic high when they let Israelite people to come to visit them. It's actually known fact. The economics rise tremendously because Israeli people used to love to go to Turkey. I have a lot of friends in Turkish people, my students, and people and I have my really good friend. She's an actress in Turkey, and what a beautiful people. I remember I was talking to one of my students, and she said, she's from Ukraine and she need to run with the war to stay in Turkey for some period of time. She said to me, I never saw people who love children so much. She said, I walk in Istanbul, I walk in anywhere, they offer always some cookies, some free stuff. They always ask how we are. She said, such a love for, I know Turkey people have a good history. In a sense, they brought a lot of literature, they brought a lot of philosophy, they brought a lot of good things. And the Turkish at the time help Jewish diaspora big time. So there was always a lot of good noble people, but unfortunately what Erdogan doing right now, it's going to be really influence Turkey not in a positive way for a long time. Why? Because he's right now really activating the radical energy inside of Turkey. And we have to understand the good people, when they not strong enough, they can be easily affected by influence by those dark forces. This is why how strong we have to be. We need to really always connect to the light. Before you're going to listen to any opinion, study, transform yourself. Then you don't need to ask for anyone's opinion. You have all the insight inside of you. But for that, you need to constantly stay in a path of spirituality, to study, to have more clarity, to practice restriction, because without restriction you cannot reveal the light. But eventually it's not restriction, it's who you are become, right? So it's really important. So I just kind of wanted to give you different kind of perspective. There's a lot of things we can see in his chart, and don't forget, look at his Jupiter. It's amazing in the fifth house. By the way, one of the reasons he chosen already twice in the fifth house, and he's in Aldebaran, not far from Aldebaran, and it's like, oh my God, he has a lot of money in his chart, even though he came from poverty. You understand? But he already born. But he has a cuckoo chart. He is a psychologically not stable person at all. He's showing smile, but he has a lot of anger inside of him. And now knowing who he's become friend with, help him God, so to say, because it's not good thing gonna overcome. So I really hope for Turkey people. And if you know a little bit Torah, and you know a little bit from the book of Daniel and from the Zohar, the Turkey, the war gonna come from few locations, and Turkey is gonna potentially can go against Israel. But it's potentially. We don't need to go to there, right? Because remember, it says the Messiah, the final redemption, can come two ways. It can come from mercy, because from our transformation, unity, prayers, to see only good in each other, to grow together, or it can come from the war, destruction, and only 30% of humanity will remain. And it's going to be like a step by step what's going to happen. Everyone, anyway, I'm not going to, it's a separate video I will make how things describe in the Zohar step by step. But Zohar has given us choices. They explain to us. This is in case if you guys will continue not to be good children, because if you're going to behave this way, Creator gave you this beautiful playground for you to create amazing life, and you're destroying. So you're creating destruction, and we're gonna eat what we cook, in a nutshell. Okay, guys, cool. You we all astrologer in our way, especially if you listen to astrological videos, you already have certain knowledge. Sit with the chart, look at the chart, ask yourself what else you be, because remember, look what we have a Pluto. This guy is one of the worst position for normal human being, for Pluto to be in 30° in the basically mouth of Leo, in its 8th house of Scorpio. It's like he almost, if this human being not in spiritual path, it's like the cold blood killer, so to say, will absolutely have no sentiment for anything. Okay, so again, like another example for you, you look at the chart, you can read this chart for a person who in total transformation completely different. But if you see the person going on a path and completely controlled by the stars, so this is the outcome we have. So it's the same thing in our reality. Or we're going to be controlled by stars and let them do with us whatever they want, or we become like number 13 to overcome all 12 signs and become above our signs and to control. And what is the 13 numerology in Hebrew? Love, unity, echad, one, and unity and oneness and love. So this is who we are. Okay, guys, send you a lot of love. And tomorrow I'm posting new video about Bibi Netanyahu. All the best. Bye-bye.
In the end, there's only one way how the world's problems can be resolved. Not temporary solutions all over the world, but how is there one solution for the whole world? That has never been advanced. One solution for all the peoples all over the world. Russia doesn't even talk with America. This country doesn't talk with that country. I mean, how do you have one solution for the whole world? So Rabbi Shimon made it very clear when he says that if you can straighten out upstairs, what do you mean straighten out upstairs? In other words, if you can put on a metaphysical level so much positive energy into the universe, then even those who want to be bad will act in a good manner. That's a solution. Why? In other words, when I sit here and I study and I practice what I study, that action that was in the way of theory put into practice has now made an impression on the cosmos, and if there's enough of that, it doesn't mean everyone is to be a Kamat Tzaddik, but if there is enough positive influence in the cosmos, then the whole of the cosmos is going to impress and going to influence on a positive nature.